welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Thursday, June 27th, and we are here to try to help you make better or less bad financial decisions. We is me, Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst and certified financial planner. And he is Mark Talercio, who is the executive producer of all things amazing at Jill on Money World, as well as a certified financial planner. So hello, Mark.
Hello, Jill. I'm glad you didn't forget about me like you did on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know, because I was very excited to talk about our amazing webinar with Heather, and it was great. And so we thank everybody for joining. And today I'm going to want to talk to you and see how you're feeling. And, you know, the end of school is approaching, and that means, what does that really mean? Does it mean you need to come up with things for a 5-year-old to do for the summer?
Oh, not me. School. Yeah, well, yesterday was the last day of school, but he will be in they call it a summer camp. I guess technically that's what it is, but he'll go. It's like an all day thing. You know, you drop kids off for 9 a.m. You pick them up anytime you want, starting around 5 or so. And they do a zillion different things during the day. And it's close to us here in the neighborhood. So I am hoping that for 2 months, I will not have to be on the subway.
Wow.
That's the goal.
That's so good.
In fact, for 2 months, I hope to not go into Manhattan.
That's a little ridiculous. You're going to have to go into Manhattan.
No.
Yeah, you are. You're going to be coming to Bryant Park for a couple of interviews.
We'll see. Maybe we can push those to September.
Oh my God. This is okay. I see you've thrown the mantle down. We have a couple of big interviews coming up in that studio. And anyway, I understand. All right. So, Mark, we have an exciting guest today because I feel like this is the power of this program, that we are saying to younger people who are just starting out, hey, we can help you. You don't have to go to the TikTok. We're right here for you. We've got Austin, who's on the line from Minnesota. Austin, welcome to the program. Are you a big TikTok user? Do you get all of your financial advice from there?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
No, don't apologize. We have so many people who are like actually getting information from people who don't know what they're doing on TikTok. So I'm so glad that you're coming to us directly. So how can we help you out today?
Yeah, so my wife and I, we've been married a few years now, and we're kind of mulling over where we're at with our total financial picture. We have a 1-year-old, and you know we're thinking about things such as extra, future additional kids, and what are things looking like for us. I'm definitely more the worrywart between the two of us in terms of our finances, and I'm also thinking about things of where do we stand in terms of our retirement savings, and where do we stand in terms of our picture in general. We've got a couple things going on, home improvements. Might have to replace a car in a couple of years. It's all kind of a whole gambit.
Why are you such a worrywart? Do you come from like a poor background, or are you like, what's happening for you? What brought you to this place?
I'm the grandson of a banker, and my folks are pretty well involved in it as well. So I was never really super wealthy by any means. Definitely consider myself, middle class type of background type of thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm a planner, let's say. So. Okay. I think I'm a worrywart just in general. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Good to know. So, Austin, how old are you?
I am 30.
And your wife?
My wife is 28.
And are you both working full time?
At this time, yes. We're both working full time.
How much do you guys earn?
So combined, we make about $240,000 a year.
That's good. Are you both making contributions to retirement plans?
Yes. So... let's see how this all breaks down. I am maxing out my 401k, and I do get a pretty healthy 401k match that's vested right out the gate. So I get about a 7% match. My wife contributes about 13% to her 401k. It comes out to just under $10,000 a year. We both max out our Roth IRAs. And then up until recently, we've been putting about 10% of our income into taxable accounts. So it comes out to be in the low to mid 30s as far as percentage of income that we put into investments.
Unbelievable. So let's just go and do a little bookkeeping here. So in your 401k, how much have you saved so far?
Yeah, so I'm going to look at tax deferred because we do have some IRAs from rollovers from previous employers and things like that.
Yep.
So tax deferred, we're looking at just over $250,000.
Oh my God. Okay. You're such a worry ward for no reason, but let's keep going. Tax
This is
deferred.
just the tip of the iceberg. You're gonna be just shaking your head at me the whole way.
Exactly. Okay. So 250 tax deferred. And that's both of you or okay. Keep going.
Yes, that's both of us. Okay, continue to shake your head.
Yeah.
We have $172,000 in Roth.
Brokerage.
Brokerage is ringing up to be about $150,000.
Okay, 250 tax deferred, 172 Roths, 150 brokerage. Did you start a 529 for the 1-year-old?
Baby has a 529, and she also has a little baby taxable account.
How much in the 529?
The 529 is right around $5,000.
Safe money, bank, CDs, I bonds. What's safe?
Yeah, so savings total, we have about $69,000. All emergency monies are essentially about $31,000. Have been saving up for a down payment on a new to me vehicle. Current car has about 250,000 miles on it, so it's inevitable.
It's happening. So how much? So of the 69,000, you say 31's really the emergency reserve. The rest is for a new car or a car. I don't know if you're going to buy a new car. You don't seem like the kind of guy who buys a new car, but maybe you would. And you said there's also a house. So how much is your house worth?
Yeah. So I guess to break that down further, amongst the savings we've got, I've got $6,200 for call it a down payment for our next vehicle. I did sign the dotted line to cash flow some home improvements. So that's going to be about $28,000. We have that all saved up and ready to go. We do have $10,000 in I bonds. And then also, so you were asking about our house.
Yeah. How much would you guess it's worth right now?
If you're going to go off Zillow or something, so we've only been in our house for a couple of years. So we bought it for a little over $500,000. It's now currently worth close to say $540,000. Our home equity, that being said, is about $140,000.
Wait, so how much is the outstanding mortgage balance? 400?
397.
Okay, so 400 grand. What's the mortgage interest rate?
So I don't know if you're going to love or hate this. This was the hardest decision ever with the way interest rates went.
Okay.
We actually got a 7-year ARM.
Okay.
And it's at 5%.
So when did the clock start on that? You said a couple of years ago. You got 5 more years?
Yeah, November of 22. So we've got till November of 29 to pray to the Fed to lower interest rates.
Mark, what do you think? Like what happened? So you know what?
I have an arm.
Mark has an arm, and a lot of people have arms right now. Is this kind of your forever home, quote unquote?
It's seeming to be like it. The wife and I sure have the laundry list of improvements we want to do to it. It's in a nice area. I can't complain. I could see myself being there a very long time. We're dreamers, right? In say 20 years, maybe we want to build a house, a little bit more out of the metro or something like that. But we don't know. We kind of want to keep things a little bit open-ended, but could see ourselves being there for quite a while. We chose the area for the school district, so you could bet on us being there easily 20 years.
So you have a 1-year-old now. You think you'll then probably have another kid or two?
Yeah, I want one more, and she wants 2 more. But I like to take it one step at a time.
Mark,
in fact,
what should
I like
they do?
to take it one day at a time.
Mark, what do you think? 1 or 2? Why don't we just make this decision? Mark, what do you think? 1 or 2 more?
I don't think Austin has a say, so I think it's going to be 2.
Okay, there you go. That's
the right answer. Mark, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you look ahead when you what makes you nervous? Yeah, I know you said you're a nervous Nelly, but to be clear, you guys are kicking ass. Mark, is that the official way that we would describe it?
We've had 2 calls this week. Both are right around 30 years old, and both are kicking butts.
Kicking butt. So there's nothing that's bad here. Is it possible that your income will remain at this level? Could it go up? Could it go down? What do you think?
I think I'm in a pretty good spot. I don't see my income changing too much other than with the rate of inflation here for the next couple of years. However, we're really mulling over what to do when baby number 2 comes along, as in considering my wife staying home.
How much does your wife make out of that $240,000?
About $72,000.
So you are like the primary wage earner, but that 70 grand is real.
Mhm.
What is the
It's real.
cost of care in your neck of the woods?
It really kind of varies with age and other things like that. Usually it pegs around $400 a week.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So if you look at your spending right now, I mean, you're putting a lot of money into your 401ks, you're maxing out your Roths. And by the way, your 401ks right now, are those Roth 401ks or traditional?
So I've thought about this a lot. And when I started out, you probably joke I'm still starting out, depending on where we're at here. Really, a while ago, I split Roth and traditional pretty 50-50. We were more Roth for a while. But now I've gone to more traditional, especially with state income taxes are relatively high here. We do pretty much go traditional. However, again, like I said, we max out the Roth IRA. So, if you're looking across all of our savings, if you include my match, which I do because I'm fully vested, about 18% of our income is going to tax deferred. And then you're looking at about 6% that's Roth. And then you got the rest either taxable or just cash savings. So, we're trying to make that split. I fight every year with the contribution limits and things to make sure that we can still contribute to Roth, just so that we have that little bit of flexibility. But I'm looking down the barrel as when we go to retire, I just don't know that it'll be that much of a concern to have a little bit of both there.
I don't think it's a big concern, but Mark, they're in right now at 240 grand. They're solidly in the 24% bracket. And obviously, if you guys make more money, you're now nudging up close-ish to the Roth IRA phase-out limit, because I think that phase-out limit is 240. But obviously, you get some deductions. You claim itemized, I imagine, just because of your home mortgage interest deduction, and you're there, so you can do it. But I think at the moment when you are phased out of Roth IRAs, then I might kind of swap back and go 50-50. Mark, do you want to make an impassioned plea for a Roth versus a traditional right now?
I can only tell you that I would be Roth 100%. It's not even a doubt in my mind, but that's me.
Oh my goodness.
I am a Roth advocate all the way. You're
But
so
here's the
young.
thing.
You're so young.
So young. It's so much better.
You're an Ed Slott type of guy.
Oh yeah,
100%. And I'm definitely a higher tax bracket than you, and we do 100% Roth.
But the thing is about this, Austin,
Interesting.
is that you could take the view that right now, for today, you can keep what you're doing, right? When you have the next kid and your wife decides, okay, I'm going to stay home, then what I might do is I might go all Roth then, because that would presume
I could see that.
You know what I mean? That you would drop down. But remember, it does depend on what happens to tax brackets and rates, because, we have the sunsetting of the tax law from 2017. But let's just presume that we're extending everything out. It's only a 2% difference, 24 to 22%. So I think that as long as your cash flow can allow this, you're doing your 401k, it's fine. You're maxing out your Roths. But she drops out. Maybe what you end up doing is just saying, okay, you know what? She's no longer contributing to her 401k. She doesn't have one. So what we'll do is we'll use my 401k, Austin's 401k. We'll use the Roth version. We'll have her do a spousal Roth IRA, and we go from there. Now, the thing that I was wondering a little bit about on the 529, how do you view education for this kid? Because I kind of want to put some more money into that 529 account.
We'll get family contributions every once in a while. I probably got to give the credit that about half of that balance has come from family contributions. We didn't want to overwhelm it at this point. We want to make sure, I've heard time and time again, and even from you all, it's, we got to take care of ourselves in order to take care of our kids later and type of thing.
You're taking care of yourselves. Don't worry.
Yeah.
In that brokerage account, are there any losses?
I did a bunch of loss harvesting. Would that be prior to, I think that was the end of 22 to get our income down a little bit, because I moved for my employer. So they grossed up a lot of our income. So to get back into being able to contribute to Roth IRAs and things like that, I had to pretty much pull every lever that I could. So we harvested a lot of losses. And actually for a long time, that was 150 grand in our taxable. About a third of that was in individual securities. And so we got out a lot of those. I probably still have about 20 grand in individual securities, but we're no longer contributing to those. I actually, I'm a huge fan of M1 finance because you just auto contribute and you build your pies, and then it automatically invests based on how you set that up. So we're all index funds and ETFs at this point. But
are you contributing going forward to that brokerage account or not?
That's where this is kind of funny. So as far as the brokerage account in question with the individual securities, that's no longer being contributed to.
Okay.
All dividends are being reinvested, and we're just kind of sitting on it. We were contributing regularly, so it came out to about $466 or something like that a week into our M1 taxable account, one for her and one for me. But we actually, I shut that off, or I paused those contributions a couple months ago to shore up fund monies for these home improvement projects.
Okay.
And that's another thing that I'm like, I hope I'm not making a huge mistake there, because we just, that's 10% of our income that we were investing that now we're not investing into taxable monies.
Mark,
I love the flexibility of that
Mark,
too.
Do you think they're making a huge mistake? I love this guy. Austin gets the crown. I never met anyone from the Midwest who was as neurotic as a New Yorker, but you're right there, Austin. You could come to New York and live among the crazies with us. You are full on driving yourself nutty, and you're in amazing shape. What do you think about putting money into the 529 from the taxable account, or using some of the money from savings? What do you think?
Well, I think there should be money going in. I mean, there's 5,000 in there right now. The child is a year old, and half of that is basically come from the family. So they're not doing a ton on their end. I mean, I would, I'm assuming education is probably important to them. So I would start putting money in there. What
do you think, Austin? You want to take some money out of the brokerage account? How about this? Let's make a deal. You're going to do the car, and you're not going to make first of all, stop driving yourself crazy about the house. Spend the money on the house and move on. Okay. The new car.
Oh, my wife's going to love you. I'm going to tell her, hey, you got to tune in. Jill just told us to drop the money on the house. Let's go.
And by the way, you're so obsessed with lowering your taxable income. If you contribute to the 529 plan, you'll be able to do that.
Exactly right.
For the state of Minnesota, I think it's up to $4,000 a year we can deduct.
So let's put $4,000 in right now. Just get it done.
Okay.
Put that in right now. Okay. For the car.
Do you care if I cash flow it versus pulling it out of the taxable? I'd love to not touch the taxable. I'd rather cash flow it.
All right. Go crazy. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
A new car, a down payment. What are you going to pay for a new car loan? Are you sure we shouldn't just sell some of the money from the taxable account and pay for a car?
You asked about our mortgage. You didn't. There's two other little things that we should probably touch on before we talk about buying the car.
Okay, let's go.
You're going to laugh at me again because it's actually pretty insignificant. Okay. We do have an existing car loan at 6%. Okay. It's for about $21,500. That's for her car. Had to get a car when we had the kid.
Okay, what's next?
What's next? And this one I'm sitting on because of interest rates. We do have about $25,000 in student loans still. And they're all federal loans. They were all on pause during the pandemic and everything. The highest interest rate is about 4.2%, but the lowest is about 3.5%. And I'm like, I'm not in a hurry. Really, my question was going to be to you. I'm looking at a couple things here. We're saving up cash for home improvements in lieu of investing in our taxable account. We're not doing that right now. But we've got this car loan. We're not hurting for cash flow, but again, we're staring down the barrel going down to one income. So it's like, should we keep saving up cash for the home improvements? Or once we do the absolutely critical home improvements, turn around, pay off the car, and start to save up cash for the next one? There's no perfect right or wrong answer here, right? But that's what I'm kind of mulling over.
There is a right or wrong answer. Sure. Mark, are you ready to start weigh in on the right and wrong?
He's going to want no part of that.
I know. But Mark, you see how Mark and I communicate? We're not texting or anything. He just was reading my mind. Austin, the crazy man. Can you just take a deep breath and go with me here? You have a beautiful balance sheet. I'll
walk along the path with Jill.
Yes. Hold my hand. You are doing an amazing job. Austin's wife, you must be a saint to live with this nutbag. But I want to say that you guys are doing a great, great job. Okay? That's number one. You have a ton of money in retirement. This is amazing. You're 30 years old. This is not a problem. There's not a problem here. Okay. I would like to stop playing the game that you are playing with yourself, which is about I don't want to touch the brokerage account. The brokerage account is there. If we look at this just from a purely what is the best use of an asset, So first of all, I would probably sell a chunk of the brokerage account out. I'd pay the tax that's due. Capital gains rates are very low right now, so I don't see why we're standing on ceremony. I would pay off the car loan immediately. I would at least, so you're going to sell of your 150, I would probably sell 50 grand of this account right now. I don't know what the
Really?
capital, yeah, easily. And I would shove some money set aside for your home improvements, pay off your car loan, pay off your pay off the student loan debt that's, more than 4%, pay that off. Okay? It's done.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Take a deep breath. Save a little extra money. You'll figure out what your how much could the capital gain be on 50 grand? You're only 30 years old. Okay. So whatever the capital gains is, pay it. Don't worry. Put the money in the account. Do the work on the house. Do not piecemeal this. This is how you nickel and dime yourself as a homeowner. Get the work done that you want to get done and pay off your car loan and pay off the 4.25% interest rate and take a deep breath. Pay whatever's due on your, that for taxes. And that's it. That's it. And stop making yourself so crazy. You are actually making yourself more insane than you need to. Mark, are you agreeing with this? How do you feel about, Mark, can you explain how lovely it is to pay capital gains at these rates?
Yeah, I mean, again, they have such a hard time dipping into their brokerage accounts. That's why the money's there. That's why you built it up. So it's there. So when you need it, you can get your hands on it and access it. I mean, I just had a beautiful $150,000 brokerage account 6 months ago. Well, guess what it is right now? It's like $15,000.
Yeah. And by the way, we're talking to you as stocks are making all-time highs. Should we wait until the market turns around and we go down? Or should we do this now?
Oh, my God, no.
So why don't we do this right now? So whatever. I said 50. Maybe you'd only need 35. Whatever you need. Don't worry about it. That's why it's there. That is why it is there. And by the way, if you wanted to do 50, one nice thing you could do is immediately pop your $4,000 into the kids' account at the same time. Or you could even put more in. You could put, 4 in this year, 4 in next year. Like you could have it set up to go. And you're amazing. You guys are in such good shape. And the idea that we are not taking advantage of the fact that you've already done an amazing job of accumulating this nest egg. And instead, now I'm worried about a car loan, for goodness sake. Like, you don't need that. Yes, go on. Give me your what ifs.
One piece here. Yeah, the what ifs. Really, I mean, the big thing too. So our overall investments total out to about $580,000. So you want me to sell out some of this taxable account, but what I wanted to ask is, so you don't use FIRE, you use FINE. Are we coast fine for, say, age 55?
I think that that you will be able to be financially independent so much faster than you think if you continue this. You may be very unhappy as you get there because your wife is going to be mad at you because you will not let her spend money on her house. But that said, I think...
Hey, we stopped the taxable contributions.
Right.
She's loving it right now. I'm like, yeah, we got the cash for the windows. Here it goes.
Yeah, exactly. So what I think that you should be considering is that, yes, you'll be financially independent. Let's see how many more kids you have, because we really can't tell exactly how things are going to line up. But yeah, you're on track for FIRE, whatever you want to do. Do you guys have life insurance?
Oh, Joe, you're going to love this part. So what is it? I'm at about $1.25 million of life insurance. My wife is at about $350,000. We have our will and trust documentation taken care of, but because our daughter is under the age of 18, what else? We have a healthcare proxy. We have a power of attorney set up. I've heard you say it enough times on this show that I was like, hey, we got to listen to Jill. We got to get after this.
Yes, that's excellent. Well, I feel very comfortable that you guys are going to have many choices going forward. I think that we are big fans of you trying to extract that investment account, that brokerage account, extract that money, pay down debt, live your life a little bit more freely. You're doing a great job. You can keep focusing on, saving and investing. It's just that you can also stop making yourself so crazy about it. It's unnecessary at this point. What
would you, I'm curious then. So what would you recommend that so as a percentage of income, especially if we look to go down to one income, what should we be looking at? I mean, 15, 20, 25?
I mean, if you're at 15 or 20, I'd be very happy. You already have done a lot of the heavy lift.
Okay.
Sure. You got to live a life. Why can't you just
suppose.
enjoy yourself? I mean, unless you're miserable in your life. Mark, are you laughing right now?
This guy's killing me, man.
He's killing me. He has to move to New York. He's so anxious. He is a perfect New York anxiety bucket. You are in great shape. You're doing everything you should be doing, and yet you can't
it's funny earlier when you first said neurotic, I was like, that was going to be the other word I was going to use instead of worry word. So you pegged me. I mean, I'm totally neurotic.
All right.
I'm living my best life.
You are living your best life, you neurotic, stress bucket. But listen, you and your wife, and I say this like as someone who could be your mother, okay? You can take a deep breath. You can be focused on saving and investing. But, right before I came on the air with you, Mark and I were talking about this guy we know who got a terrible diagnosis, this, that, and the other thing. And one of the things that we have learned is that you don't want to wait for something bad to happen before you have a reality check. Okay.
I get that.
Okay. So
I get it.
I'm going to give you from this guy who was just diagnosed with like a terrible end stage cancer, been in the financial markets forever. He is very interesting. He says the cliche is true. Something like this makes you truly appreciate life. It's not about money. It's about life. We can control risk. We cannot eliminate it. And that in general, I like this one comment. He says, money is intimately bound up with regret. So we often berate ourselves for the foolish purchases and investments we make. This has been one pleasant surprise. Until the past few years, I've lived frugally, and yet I find myself with almost no regrets about that lifestyle. But I will now start ticking off some bucket list items over the years. So to me, I think if you can make sure that you have some nice balance between not having a regret over what you should have done versus enjoying where you are today, that would really serve you well. And this is one of those times where I say, one of my friends likes to say that this is a show that's not Jill on money, it's Jill on life. I really want you to be clear that you're in really good shape. Your life looks beautiful. You and your wife have done an amazing job. Take a deep breath, enjoy some of it, and don't make yourself so crazy. If you can let yourself do that, I think you'll be a happier person. So that you'll call back, you'll let us know, and we will be delighted to have you come back on. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel that much better. We have, last couple of years post-pandemic, we have traveled a little bit more and things like that. So slowly releasing the vices, if you want to put it that way.
Great. This is great. Well, listen, thanks for joining us. And for anyone listening, if you've got some nice recommendations for Austin for ways that he can just sort of live his life without stressing out so much, Mark, this is a theme of some of our listeners can really fall into this, right? That they're so focused on their money that every single decision feels somewhat fraught. So we got to let them, take yourselves off the hook.
It's not healthy.
I don't think so. I mean, I know that people live like this all the time. It's not that it's like, I don't want to be like scold you. I just want you to try to give yourself a break. You hear these calls and you hear these questions from so many of our listeners, and some people are really in rotten shape and some people are in great shape. Austin and his wife are in great shape. They are 30-somethings who do not need to stress. And I think that it would really serve them well, especially when they have another kid, just to breathe a little bit. And I think if we can help you all out with that, we're succeeding. If you are worried, if you're a worrywart, stress bucket, anxiety provoked kind of individual, we are your people. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the contact us button, send us a note, and let us know if you'd like to join us on the air. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday. Mark does a great job with that. And you can also check out our YouTube show. It's called Jill on Money, powered by The Compound. Mark Talercio is the co-host and executive producer and king of all things web at Jill on Money Land. We are distributed by Paramount Global. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Try to lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.